Steve, you challenged your veterans yesterday after the game against Rochester. Do you feel they responded?
They did, and not surprisingly. Having had the opportunity now to meet Trevor Smith and work with him over the last few months, he's probably one of the best captains I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And he does everything right. As you said, I tested our older guys yesterday, and they responded so well, as did our entire hockey club here today.
Josh Levo, again, another good game, but not necessarily on the score sheet, but he forechecked well out there today.
He did. He played hard, as did David Brohl. We had a number of guys play a real good detailed game here this afternoon, Todd. And Utica's a good hockey club. We saw how good they are. They've got 9 forwards up front that can hurt you, a fourth line that has energy, and their back end and their goaltending have been solid. So we knew it was going to be a tough game to try to get this done, and thankfully we found a way to do it.
Eric Canodal, one of those players that playing a simple game, it's what you ask of your players, and he seems to be responding, no?
He's taking advantage of an opportunity with Andrew McWilliam and Stu Percy out of the lineup. He had to play bigger minutes here. Zach Ewan came in this afternoon, so it's by committee. They got it done, but Eric is a nice prospect for us. I think it's a great signing by the organization. He's big, he's got hockey sense, he's got a very low threshold to panic with the puck, and we saw in the power play how we can get a puck to the net, and that was a big goal for us.
After the performances the last 2 games in net, how did you decide to go back to Sparks today?
Again, it's a staff decision. You meet with your people. You try to do what's best for your hockey club, but keep in mind these are still 2 young players and 2 young goaltenders, and Christopher Gibson was excellent yesterday and deserved every opportunity to go back. But sometimes you make gut calls, but you trust your people, and Piero and I, Gord, Derek, met and thought this was the decision for the hockey club.
How big of an accomplishment is this, Steve, clinching the North Division title with such a young group?
Well, I'm very proud of our whole staff. All of my support staff, the coaches, obviously Piero included, our goaltending coach, our trainers, our equipment people. Everybody's worked so hard, and not a lot of people. We've talked about this. Not a lot of people gave this hockey club much of an opportunity to make the playoffs. Nonetheless, win the division. So very proud of our group. There's been a lot of ups and downs this year, a lot of call-ups, and to get it done, April 6th, I think is pretty impressive. And now it gives us an opportunity to tinker with our lineup, maybe see some young prospects, and give some of the older guys some time off.
What's the situation with Drew McIntyre came back today? Was he an option to play today?
He was not an option to play today. That was a transaction with the Leafs. But speaking with Dave Poulin, he wanted to see the young guys here in net this afternoon, and so we'll see what happens to Drew going forward with the Leafs.
What is the update with Stu Percy?
Yeah, Stu took a bump yesterday, and he wasn't feeling good this afternoon. Playoff game, he's probably in the lineup, but he just wasn't feeling himself here this afternoon. So speaking with Luc LeBlanc, our athletic therapist, he thought maybe best to give him the day off, and Zach Ewan was healthy and ready to go.
You mentioned David Brohl. When he first joined this team, he sort of had that title of an enforcer. How much more is he to this team than just an enforcer?
It's a great question. I think when you look at the National Hockey League and you look at the fourth lines now in the NHL, they have to play, and they have to play minutes. And David Brohl is a strong physical player. We know that. But when you saw him on the forecheck today, when you saw him back check, he's a big man that can skate and play the game. He's got very good hockey sense and good hands. So he's definitely more, but I think he's a prototypical fourth-line winger in the National Hockey League in today's game.
What about his puck possession?
Awesome, outstanding. He's big and strong. You guys have seen him off the ice. He's a big, strong man. This is his first year of pro hockey, and it's going to be interesting to see how he develops over the next couple of years. But the nice thing is we have patience, and we'll be patient with him.
Sam Carrick was flying today. Your thoughts on his game? I know he's improved a lot. Spent a lot of time with Bart Vanderbilt.
You know what? Of all the players on the team, and I don't want to use surprise because I knew how good Sammy was coaching against him, but he's one of those players that's taken advantage of an opportunity. Earlier in the year, maybe he wasn't penciled in to be a top 6 or top 9 forward, and he's played on our first line this year, and he got the game puck in arguably one of the biggest games of the year for us here today. And you know what? He plays right wing, he plays center, power play, penalty kill. He's done it all, and for my mind, has turned himself into a legitimate NHL prospect.
Definition of a blue-collar type player, you might say?
You know what? For me, he's the definition of our hockey club. He does everything right. He battles, he fights, he plays hard, he can score. So he's what the Toronto Marlies are all about.
What about Coden's situation? I know he's a healthy scrap left.
Yeah, he's back here. He'll be back now. Again, another player that's dealing with some injury issues, but he'll be back here next week.
So he didn't get a 3-game scratch for that penalty.
Yeah, I'm hard, but I'm not that hard. No, he was dealing with some ailments, and he'll be back next week.